Hey everyone, what's up? It is the DBCam. I'm your host, Daryl Brown. It is Wednesday, August the 24th of 2011. I'm so glad that you have joined me here on my daily online journal that I post just about every day on www.youtube.com/thedbcam, youtube.com/thedbcam. A lot of things are going on in the news, and let's take a look at some of the headlines here. Well, of course, yesterday, Tuesday, there was a pretty sizable earthquake over on the East Coast affecting Washington, D.C. and the surrounding areas. I believe it was a 5.8 on the Richter scale. There was damage to several of the buildings there in Washington, D.C. There apparently is a pretty good crack in the Washington Monument. Apparently, some stones and bricks and things fell off of the National Cathedral. Apparently, there was a little bit of damage to some other national monuments and national buildings there in Washington, D.C. I don't think that anybody was seriously hurt or anything like that, but it was a big deal. It's a once-a-century kind of thing that I'm reading, and a pretty big deal to have an earthquake up there in Washington, D.C. Also, Muammar Gaddafi, the dictator leader of Libya, he is apparently on the run. He is out of power now. He is claiming that he is going to be either a martyr and be killed for standing up for what he believes in, or he claims that he is going to get his power back. Something tells me that he is not going to get his power back, that indeed he is going to be a martyr. That's what it is in these Muslim dictator-controlled countries over there. It's like Iran. I've talked to some people that are familiar with Iranians, that know Iranians, that have even been to Iran, and they say that, the people of Iran actually like Americans. They want to be like us. They like our culture. They like our clothing. They like our music. They like our movies. They like our books. They like our recreational things. It's the leaders of Iran that do not like us. It's kind of like the situation over in Iraq. Saddam Hussein was the one that hated America. A lot of people of Iraq really liked America. And when we went over there to liberate Iraq, whether you agree with it or you didn't agree with it, the majority of the people of Iraq really appreciated the United States coming in and liberating them. Really were thankful to the Americans. And that's what I have found, at least what I read and what I talk to people about, is that most of these people in these Arab countries, they really like the United States of America. They love our freedom. They love our liberty. They're, in fact, kind of jealous of it. It's their leaders that don't like us. And I think you're going to find that when it comes to Libya, that once Muammar Gaddafi is out, there's no chance of him coming back to power. I think you're going to see Libya go from one of our big enemies to perhaps one of our friends. You never know. I don't know. What else is going on in the news? Let me look here at my website here, the AP link. The big headline here on the Drudge Report, Gaddafi, and there's another spelling of it. I swear there's like 10 spellings of Gaddafi. Gaddafi vows to fight for years. I don't think that's going to happen. First of all, he doesn't have a lot of years. He's quite of an old guy. I don't think he's got years to fight. What else is going on? Of course, the earthquake stuff going on. Quake cracks monument. Got a picture of the Washington Monument, the obelisk there. Stones falling off National Cathedral. Highly unusual on the East Coast. It's once a century. We talked about that just a minute ago. Another natural disaster coming along is Hurricane Irene. Hurricane Irene is going to affect the eastern United States. We just got the earthquake yesterday. Don't know what's going on in the eastern United States, but they're getting the brunt of a lot of these natural disasters lately, and they're home to Congress and the president, so that's bad enough. But now they're getting earthquakes and looks like hurricanes. They're saying Irene may stay offshore. They don't really know. There have been mandatory evacuations along North Carolina's Outer Banks. So a lot of things going on in the eastern United States. Here's a neat story. Bill Clinton, Arkansan, former president of the United States, former governor of Arkansas, says he declares vegan victory. He no longer eats any kind of red meat, steak, or burgers. He no longer eats chicken or dairy, any kind of animal products. He strictly eats fruits, vegetables, and beans. So we all know that Bill Clinton, he had a pretty bad habit when it comes to eating food. You remember all the Saturday Night Live parodies? I remember the one that Phil Hartman did of Bill Clinton going into the McDonald's and taking a bite off of everything in the menu. So apparently Bill Clinton is getting his health back in shape, and that's good. That's good. I'm always glad to hear something like that. I need to do the same thing myself. Fortunately, on the DBCam, you cannot see my stomach, but if you did, you'd know I need to go vegan just like Bill Clinton does. What else is going on? Jerry Lewis is to host the MDA Labor Day Telethon after all. Apparently, he was no longer going to host it. How can you have an MDA Telethon without Jerry Lewis hosting it? I just don't get that. But apparently, he was not going to host it, but now they're saying that he is going to host it. Who knows? I don't know. It's not really something that I'm concerning myself too much with, to be quite honest with you. Wow, here's a story that's very interesting. City to pay kids $100 not to cut class. Let's click on this. Let's see what this has to say. Camden pays students $100 each not to skip school. I'm thinking this is not Camden, Arkansas, home of Gray Pet. Anybody remember Gray Pet out there? They still make it. You can get it at Walmart. Camden, Arkansas, no. This is out of NBC Philadelphia. So I'm thinking this is in Pennsylvania. The city of Camden will be paying almost 70 high school students $100 each to go to school in the first 3 weeks of the year. To receive the promised $100, each of the 66 targeted students must attend classes as well as conflict and anger management workshops until September 30th. So if they agree to go in anger management classes, if they agree to go to school, they're going to get $100. Where was this when I was a kid? Where was this when I was a kid? I never missed school unless I was sick. Oh, my temperature. Oh, you know what I mean. We all did it back then. But I was good about going to school. Never got in trouble. So, where was my $100? I guess I was just born a little bit too early, as most of us were. Anything else going on in the news here? Let me take a look here, see if there's anything else that I want to talk about. Apparently, a man has stole a complete above-ground swimming pool for scrap metal. Okay, that's kind of crazy. I know that there's been a rash of people stealing air conditioning units to steal the copper out of the units to get money for the scrap metal. As many of you know, my family business, or I should say, what was my family business, now it's exclusively my brother's family business, which we won't get into the details about that, because that gets me riled up, gets my old blood pressure, gets the old ticker up just a little bit. My brother's business, I know they've been dealing a lot with that. People calling them up saying that their total air-conditioned system has been stolen. Every bit of it, people are taking it and getting the copper out of it, and they're selling it for scrap metal. Copper is worth a lot of money. People need money these days, so I know one thing that my brother has been doing a lot of, last I heard at least, was that they were building these cages that go around air conditioning units so air conditioners would not be stolen. So here, not only are they resorting to stealing air conditioning units, now they're resorting to stealing entire above-ground swimming pools. Just crazy what people will do. Here's another story. It's kind of weird. I'm not going to get into it. The headline, two men break into a funeral home. Two homeless men break into a funeral home, and they were found, guess what? Sleeping in caskets. Two homeless men breaking into a funeral home found sleeping in caskets. No way. I would sleep out on a park bench before I slept in a casket. There'll be plenty of time to do that when I die. I don't want to do that while I'm alive. Let's look at this. Where was this at? In Bristol, Tennessee. Let's read this story right quick. Police in Tennessee were called to a funeral home where workers found two intruders sleeping inside caskets. The employees at the Weaver Funeral Home in Bristol, Tennessee called police around 10:30 a.m. on Tuesday after finding two men asleep in caskets. The men fled through a window after police were alerted. One man escaped but caught and arrested one man named Barrett Lance Hartstock. Barrett Lance Hartstock, who was charged with burglary and vandalism over $1,000. Police said there was more than $9,000 in damage done to the caskets that the two homeless men were sleeping in. Boy, what a crazy story. I mean, with all the Salvation Armies out there, the Union Rescue Missions, the park benches out there, there's a lot of other places for homeless people to sleep other than caskets. That's pretty weird. So let's look at the news today for August 24th, 2011. Something I want to start doing is sharing a little bit of a scripture verse with you. As many of you know, I'm an ordained minister. I've served as a pastor, a youth director, a children's director, children's minister. And I just want to leave you with this thought here today on the DBCam. This is out of James. The book of James. James was, we think, probably the half-brother of Jesus Christ. James chapter 1, verses 2 through 4. Consider it pure joy, my brothers, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith develops perseverance. Perseverance must finish its work so that you may be mature and complete and not lacking in anything. So if you're going through difficult times right now, if you're going through tough moments in your life and you don't know why it's happening to you, you don't know exactly what's happening to you, why it's taking place in your life, persevere through it, trust in God, lean on Him, pray like you've never prayed before, read the Bible like you've never prayed before, because I guarantee you, if you persevere through it, you're going to be a much stronger person, you're going to be a much stronger Christian for going through all the troubled times that you might be going through in life. So that's my word for today. That's our news update for today. Next time we come back on the DBCam, we'll probably talk a little bit of wrestling. We'll talk a little more politics, and who knows what else we'll have. We'll have some more scripture reading for you. So I hope that each and every one of you have a very blessed day. Take care, and God bless, and we will see you next time on the next episode of the DBCam. I'm Darrell Brown. See you next time.